Godspeed.
Ahoy, all of you flick freaks out there, what is going on? My name is Andrew, and we are going to continue on with the top 100 movies of all time. I'm very sorry I didn't post this video on Saturday like I said I was going to for all these videos. I just got caught up with a whole bunch of stuff and I just eventually fell behind. But I'm going to post today, and today we're going to be talking about numbers 70 through 61. A quick disclaimer again, remember this is my personal top 100 favorite movies of all time. It is not a reflection of any chart listing the top critically acclaimed movies, just my personal list. So if you see a movie on here you think is too low, too high, or shouldn't be on this list at all, or that I missed a few, again, my personal top 100. So keep that in mind before you comment so I don't get a whole bunch of hate comments down below. Having said that, I think it's time we move on now to number 70. Coming in at number 70, we have Will Ferrell's film Stranger Than Fiction. This film is very interesting and very unique. It's based around a man who finds out somehow that he is actually the character in a book that is being written as he lives out his life. Everything he does ends up in the book, and there are consequences because he finds out that the author of the book, played by Emma Thompson, always kills her main protagonist at the end of her books. So he tries to live his life the best he can before time runs out. This movie is very different for Will Ferrell because it's not a straight out comedy. There are certain areas of it where they're very dark and very sad, and he actually gives a very good performance. He's on screen with Maggie Gyllenhaal, Queen Latifah, Dustin Hoffman, who as always gives an extraordinary performance. And if you've never seen Stranger Than Fiction, it is one you definitely need to check out. So I say we move on now to number 69. Coming in at number 69, we have the extraordinary 2007 film Into the Wild. This movie was actually directed and the screenplay was written by Sean Penn. The movie is based off of John Krakauer's extraordinary novel. It's the true life story of Chris McCandless, who gave up $24,000, his entire bank account, to charity, and he decided he didn't want the earthly possessions that so many people thrive for. So he gives away all of his money, and he begins an extraordinary journey of trying to hitchhike all the way to Alaska so he can live in the wilderness. It's a story of how he meets people along the way and how they impact his life and how he in turn impacts theirs. It is one of the most beautiful movies you will ever see, and it's one of the best character performances you will ever see. So it is highly recommended that if you've never seen Into the Wild, you check it out. It will take you on an emotional journey that you are likely not to experience from many other films. Having said that, I say it's time to move on now to number 68. Coming in at number 68, we have one of the most unique movies you are most likely to ever see in your life, and that would be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This movie has an all-star studded cast. You have Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet, Tom Wilkinson, Kirsten Dunst, Elijah Wood, Mark Ruffalo, and David Cross, and that's just to name a few of them. This movie is extremely unique. It's about Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey, who just broke up with each other, and their hearts are wrenching after this terrible, terrible relationship that they thought that they were in. And there's actually a procedure they find out they can have their memories erased of specific parts of their life. So Jim Carrey goes in to have all of his memories of Kate Winslet, his ex-girlfriend, erased forever. And during the procedure, he is transported into his own subconscious, and he finds out that as the memories are being erased, that this woman, it turns out, was too important for him to lose all memory of. So he tries to hide her away in his own mind as she's being erased forever. The movie is incredibly heartbreaking and extraordinarily beautiful and vibrant with color. If you've never seen it, it is definitely one you need to check out. I say now we move on to number 67. Coming in at number 67, we have the classic 1987 film, The Princess Bride, what I consider to be the greatest love story of all time. It stars Carrie Ewells, Mandy Patinkin, Robin Wright, Andre the Giant, and many others. Like I said, it's one of the most beautiful, funny movies you will ever see. And actually, this is going to sound funny, if you've never seen The Princess Bride, I don't trust you as a human being because you are missing out on one of life's greatest treats. The movie is all about true love, comedy, and friendship. It's just the perfect good movie. Having said that, it's time to move on now to number 66. Coming in at number 66, we have a movie that has nothing to do with true love, romance, or brotherly friendship. Instead, it's a movie all about terror, horror, violence, and aliens. The 1979 movie Alien by Ridley Scott, starring Sigourney Weaver and John Hurt, is about a commercial vessel that receives a distress call from this unexplored world. And as they go there to try and look for any survivors, it turns out that there is actually a deadly, horrifying alien life form on the planet. We know them as xenomorphs, and they are one of the most terrifying creatures ever to be put on screen. When I saw the movie as a child, it truly did terrify me, but at the same time I was fascinated by the film. Just how unique and different the portrayal of the aliens were in this compared to the little green men we'd received from every other movie up until that point was extraordinary. Ridley Scott, of course, this is back when he was in his prime making the most magnificent movies ever. So if you've never seen this movie and you love terrifying movies, this is at the top of your list of movies you need to see. Having said that, it's time to move on now to number 65. Coming in at number 65, keeping in line with films that terrified me as a child, we have the 1975 film Jaws. Directed by Steven Spielberg, this film reinforced my terror of the ocean and sharks. I think you could actually blame a lot of why I'm scared of the ocean on this movie. The movie stars Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss. They each play a sheriff, a marine biologist, and a fisherman who are all tasked with killing a huge man-eating great white shark on 4th of July weekend. This movie is beyond terrifying, and it's actually, a lot of people don't know this, was going to be a totally different movie. The shark, which was this animatron, which they actually named Bruce, which if you ever watched Finding Nemo, the great white shark is named Bruce because of this movie. So on set, Bruce, the shark, kept breaking down, and they couldn't use it in a lot of shots. So the reason you don't see a lot of the shark in the movie is because the machine kept breaking down, and it actually was supposed to be a creature feature, but it turned out to be one of the greatest subtle horror movies of all time. All because of an accident. And that is an extraordinary story and why it deserves a spot on my list. So now let's move on to number 64. Coming in at number 64, we have Robert Zemeckis' masterpiece, Forrest Gump. The movie stars Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, and it's about a man who has a mental disability while at the same time having a heart of gold, and he goes around the world meeting some of the most influential people of all time, as well as being present for some of the most important moments in history. All of this in the name of a woman he loves. You get to see a man transform the people around him, and this movie will touch you in ways that a lot of movies have never been able to do that to you. You feel just an overwhelming love for this person, and it's just extraordinary, and it definitely deserves a spot on everybody's list. So let's move on now to number 63. Coming in at number 63 on my list, we have Ron Howard's film A Beautiful Mind. The movie stars Russell Crowe, Jennifer Connelly, Paul Bettany, Ed Harris, and Christopher Plummer. It's the true life story of a man by the name of John Nash, who was a mathematician at Princeton, and after he was there, he was inducted into the U.S. government to help fight the Soviets by breaking some of their codes. Soon after that, his life is turned upside down into a true nightmare. I'm not going to spoil what, because it is a major spoiler, and if you've never seen this movie, you have to see it because you will not expect the twist that comes. So go and check out this movie if you never have. You will not regret it. It is a remarkable masterpiece. Now let's move on to number 62. Coming in at number 62 on my list, we have a movie a lot of people may not have expected to be on anyone's list. It's the 2011 film Take Shelter, directed and written by Jeff Nichols. The movie stars Jessica Chastain and Michael Shannon. It's about a man who is plagued with these nightmares of the world ending by a terrible storm. he has to make a hard choice between either using that money to help save his daughter's hearing or to build a shelter to outlast this storm that he may or may not be imagining is on its way. So you have to watch a man struggle to either what he thinks is best for his family or to go with what society deems is what he should do with the money. The movie is very unique, and I think Michael Shanna's performance is what really pushes this movie home. It should have gotten him more than several nominations, and actually I think he was one of the best performances of 2011. So I highly recommend this movie if you've never seen it. It is very, very unique and extraordinarily entertaining. So let's move on now to the last movie on this week's list, number 61. Most of the movies on this list this week have been extraordinarily unique, and number 61 is no exception to that rule. Coming in at number 61, we have Ryan Gosling's film Lars and the Real Girl. I actually do consider this to be Ryan Gosling's best performance to date. The movie is actually kind of hard to explain. It's about a man who has a troubled mind, and he believes that a sex doll he ordered online is a real, living, talking person that he begins a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship with. His family has to struggle with the idea of their family member slowly losing his mind, but a doctor assures them that the best way to cure him of this is to go along with the idea that she is real, and it will slowly work itself out of his mind. And the movie it sounds odd. It really does sound odd whenever you try and explain it. But if you watch this movie, you will see a beautiful performance by everybody in this movie. It stars Ryan Gosling, Paul Schneider, and a bunch of other people. And you're like, wow, great performances all around. You could actually believe that this scenario could play out just by how good the performances are in this movie. And that's why it deserves a high spot on this list. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's list. Thank you, everybody, for watching this list. Tune in this coming Saturday. I promise I will have the next list out on Saturday like I promised I would. Next week will be numbers 60 through 51, and then after that, we're going to be moving into the top 50 movies of all time for me. Thank you to everybody for watching. If you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe button over there. And if you check in the top right corner over there, you'll see a little card. It'll take you over to our other channel, Game Geeks. If you're a fan of video games, I highly recommend you check out that channel. We do a lot of Let's Plays and walkthrough and guides for certain video games. Right now, we're playing the games Soma and Bloodborne. Soma is actually a very fun game, and Bloodborne is one of the best games I've played so far this year. At the end of this month, we're going to be doing a walkthrough guide of the campaign for Halo 5 Guardians. So if you're excited as much as I am for that game, you definitely need to check out the channel at the end of the month. The last thing I'll mention is our Patreon campaign. We just got our first Patreon supporter not too long ago, so thank you very much for that. Every single dollar that is put into the Patreon campaign will be put directly back into the channel to making the quality of all the equipment and all that stuff better. That money will not go to my own personal use. It will all go directly back into the channel. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, Godspeed.
Yo, my name is Cliff Safredi. We're from bangbus.com. We specialize in porn pop-ups, malware, spyware, adware, and the like. If you have Bonsai Buddy on your computer, you could thank us, baby. And this video is